Are you really going to travel and pay money to watch a screen? Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. So I was not planning on going to the Women Evolve conference until my sister had sent me a text and asked if I was going. Didn't even know when it was. So when she told me that it was happening and that it was next weekend, I was like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work out. But I decided to check out the lineup. And when I saw who was going to be there, I decided to make it happen. Or I wanted to make it happen, but I did have some obstacles in the way. Admission. Apparently, the entire conference is sold out, so how am I even gonna go? Ooh, wait, there's an overflow section. Now, I know what you might be thinking, because at least I know what I was thinking. Why would you pay money and travel and inconvenience yourself, stay at a hotel, pay for food, the whole nine, to go and watch a screen? You can just watch a screen at home. Ah, but I can't because it's not available online. Also, having been to conferences before, even when you're in the main session, you're watching a screen. So what difference is it really going to make? Plus, I'm thinking Overflow is going to be less crowded, there's going to be shorter lines for the bathroom, and shorter waits for food. I'm all about that life. Plus easy vibes. Shh. I'm sitting in the overflow. I'm sitting in the overflow. Or at least, let's try to. Because, yeah, I'm still scheduled to work. I am fully employed at this point in my life. So to now try to get 2 weekdays off back to back that are unscheduled and unplanned. Have I mentioned that today's Saturday? So the office isn't even open for me to try to get the time off. And just as critical, I need to get my hair done. No way I'm showing up to Atlanta looking like this. I had washed my hair myself. I don't know what I was thinking. It just needed to be cleaned. So I cleaned it, fully knowing that I can't style it. I don't do black hair. I call people, and I have nobody I can call right now that can get it done in the next 72 hours. So, Lord, I'm at your mercy. If you want this to happen, please make a way. Okay, wow. My office manager texts back and said they have plenty of providers on, and having the time off is not going to be an issue. Okay, tickets booked. Let's find a Dominican salon that can hook us up and start packing. Now, I know they say you're supposed to be at the airport like 2 hours early or something like that, but come on, it's not an international flight. No big deal, right? Wrong. One time I cut it so close I almost missed my flight by a cheeseburger because I was so out of shape I couldn't run to the gate any faster without putting my life at risk. That and the fact that going through regular TSA, I always have to get additional security screenings, and one time the security sensors picked up lotion on my hands and I got to make new friends that day. I now have TSA pre-check. And even though I can keep my shoes on and carry liquids, just kidding, don't bring liquids. I am not taking any chances. I show up both early and ashy. So I made it to Atlanta uneventfully, thank you Jesus, and headed straight for the conference center. I didn't want to miss a thing. Even if that meant trooping it through the entire conference center with my luggage. Fortunately, they had a bag check, which was very convenient. And also, yeah, who wants to go through a conference with luggage? Can you say security red flag? One thing that I did not know is the entrance to get dropped off at, and I just told my Uber driver, oh sure, this is fine. Guess what? It was not fine. It was so far. Thank God I was not in heels, because I don't know if I would have had the joy of the Lord if I would have showed up in heels and trooped it like a quarter mile. I don't know how long it was. But that, after going through the Atlanta airport, which if you did not know is the busiest airport in the entire world, not the country, the world. Also found that out the hard way, but that's in a different Almost Missed My Flight story. Follow me on Patreon for details. The one thing I do know, though, is I got my steps in. I got my steps in for the month, maybe for the year. Thought about renting one of those, but didn't know if there would be stairs. Eventually, I got to the right place, got through security, was able to lay my burdens down at the bag check area and get into the conference. Which the theme of the conference was Finish Line, but let me tell you, by the time I had trooped it all that way, it was a victory. It was a win. Okay, games aside, spoiler alert, the entire conference was fire. But the overflow area was so cute, and the vibes were so chill. Everyone that you sat next to, there was just no air of pretentiousness. Not saying that there would have been in the main section, but I can only speak where I was at. In the overflow area, I was amongst my people. Now, the conference had already started when I got there, so I don't know what I missed, but I know that I walked in at the right time because the gangsta, Christine Kane, was speaking, and I mean that in a good way, in a holy, spiritual, God type of gangsta. And she had a message for me. God had allowed everyone else to be in the conference, but that was my message.
You know what? I'm not throwing shade on her. Because I'd say most of us would have looked back. Because her whole life was back there. The people that she loved, except for her husband and 2 daughters. I mean, her extended family, her friends, her memories. I don't know, maybe she just renovated her kitchen. Who knows? But she's like looking back. But what happened is when you're connected more to what you're leaving than where God's taking you, you are going to get stuck. And that's what happened to this woman. She lost sight of the fact that God Himself was delivering her. She lost sight of the actual miracle in motion. While she's holding an angel, she's got her daughters, she's got her husband, she looks back, and in the Hebrew, that phrase, look back, it means she looked back with longing, wanting to go back. I wonder what you've come to Women Evolve 2025 wanting to go back to. I wonder where you may be longing for something that God is delivering you out of.
She's so legit. All of the main session speakers were fantastic. I loved hearing their stories and how God transitioned even their struggles into their triumphs. Many of the speakers I wasn't familiar with, and I love that because it increased my exposure, and getting to hear from fresh perspectives was refreshing.
I dare you to lift up your hands and sing it to Him tonight. Siabonga. Oh, thank you, Jesus.
I also love that the conference incorporated some non-traditional segments like Bible study.
The word is meant to be lived out. It is meant to be practiced. And so application is important.
The presenter was so good and really kept the information accessible. After the morning session, we're watching the screen and Queen Sarah comes on. She's greeting and welcoming everyone.
First of all, I want to thank you so much for going out of your way to make sure that you are a part of what God is doing at Woman Evolve 25.
And it took me several seconds to realize, wait a minute, she's on stage. She actually came over to the Overflow section and gave us a personal welcome, which I thought was so sweet and just so thoughtful that she really wanted to make sure we all felt a part of the conference. The worship was amazing. And in the Overflow section, it was just such a relaxed atmosphere that you could really just enter into personal worship. Queen Sarah spoke that night, and of course, her fit was fire. And yes, I know it's about the word, but you can also look fantastic while you give it. Totally left the conference full that evening. Spiritually, anyway, because by the time I got back to the hotel and was able to check in and settle, I still needed to address the food situation because what's even open in Atlanta right now? Fortunately, some good options. I ended up getting seafood and fully intended to finish it in the morning because at that point I didn't know if I was more hungry or tired, and I guess it was tired because after trying it, everything that I was able to try was good, but I just called it a night and went to bed. Put my things in the very warm fridge, only to wake up and find that it was just as warm in the morning as it was the night before. The refrigerator in that room did not work. It was warmer than room temp, and I had the heat on. So, not taking any chances with food poisoning. Better to throw it out than pray for healing. Although I didn't want to miss a thing, as much as the spirit was willing, all those miles I put in the day before, yeah, they all met me that morning. The next day after 40 is for real. It's not a myth, it's for real. I honestly debated just sleeping in and catching the afternoon session. But then I thought, I don't know if this is going to be recorded or if there'll be a chance to catch up on anything that I miss. And as previously stated, I did not want to miss a thing. So, better to catch the end than to get none at all. Headed out for day 2. Dr. Anita Phillips was up and doing what she does best, calling you out while inviting you to grace.
Has it worked? And so you've tucked it away in the corner of your prayer closet where you don't touch things you don't understand because you've asked for deliverance from it so much and it still comes up. And so you try not to think about the loss and you try to turn your head away from it, or you try to work it with your hands and your giving and your foundations and your volunteer to make it worth something and make it meaning because you're trying to get some distance from the pain.
Although I wasn't able to hear her entire message, what I did catch was so rich. Friday was a full day, with breaks in between, and of course, opportunities for shopping. So I may have gotten a little carried away with the shopping. But when you run into unique products, are great finds, especially at opportunities like this that you may not see again. I like to take advantage of that. I love the vendor space. They had different stations and presentations as expected, but the type of presentations they had. Different hair brands that were represented, live demonstrations. And they had a really cool scent station. I don't even know what you call it. But you could make your own signature scent based off different fragrances they had. It reminded me of a scientist lab. And of course, they had different food vendors. One of them was selling gourmet popcorn and had some really unique flavors.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Right
snap.
now, let me go
Man.
hit you.
No, for real. Oh, snap. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need this. I need this in my life right now. How much is it? I don't care. I need it.
My sister, who had invited me to the conference, is one that I don't often get to see. So it was nice that the conference had some downtime where you could hang out. And they also had lots of photo ops. Because if you didn't take pictures, were you even there? Now, the downtime wasn't a period of doing nothing. There was always something going on, whether they were doing an exercise class, line dancing, live recordings of programs, and we even got to be in the audience for Pastor Torre's business podcast, which was super cool.
It was in order to build it, I must not only be free, but accept that as I build more proper systems, I can be more free.
I gotta stop you real quick, because you're flowing. He's really gonna keep flowing. But you said something I think is really an important foundation to lay. You said that I had to accept freedom.
They kicked off the evening session with a pajama party, which was a unique idea, and it was nice that everything wasn't high intensity and super serious the whole time. Another unexpected element that was incorporated into the conference was prayer. Now, I know you're probably thinking, what's so unusual about prayer? But what makes it unusual is they had like a time of dedicated prayer. Not someone who prayed before they spoke, but it was like a corporate prayer, almost like a mini prayer service. It was so powerful, and it really set the tone for the rest of the evening. Bishop Carolyn Showell spoke that night, and it was so good to hear the wisdom from previous generations. She was also really funny. Now, not funny in like a ha-ha type funny, but a y'all silly type of funny. Like when an elder throws shade, but you know what they're saying is true, but you don't get called out that often, so it's funny. That type of funny. But the word was good.
You are an enigma. You got heavenly essence in a jar of clay.
Now, the worship on that night wasn't an occasion, it was an occurrence. It started at some point and just continued throughout the night. I don't even know when it ended. I'm not even sure if it did. Maybe it's going on right now. Who knows? But for real, that moment is so vivid in my mind, it created a memory, like a space that I can go back to. The conference had a theme song that really embodied the goal of the event. It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are so powerful. But then Tasha Cobbs Leonard comes out and smashes it. Not only that, but they turn it into a live recording. Now, if you have not checked this song out yet, bless your life and do it. The song is amazing, but being able to be in that atmosphere as it was being recorded, it was a moment. Now, I don't know what to title or call the rest of the night, or how it would even be described in today's vernacular, but back in the day when I was coming up, it's what they would call a Holy Ghost time. I came prepped rocking my old school Pentecostal shirt, if you know, you know, and I was expecting something, but didn't really know what. That night, however, was not about being cute. It was not about having an agenda. It was just an open place and space to have an encounter with God. I honestly don't even remember how the night ended, but at some point I got back to the hotel. Now, I already know the refrigerator in the hotel isn't working, so I tried to turn my entire room into a refrigerator by closing the blinds and cranking the AC before I left that morning. When I got back, it was cool, but I just threw my food out. I am not getting sick out of state. I'd prefer not to get sick anywhere. So I tossed it and ordered something else. I saw a place that had some cute meatless options. Not that I don't eat meat, but for what was open, it looked good. This is not a reflection on the city of Atlanta or on their food spot because according to my Uber driver, they do have some great ones. Saturday was the closing day, and I had to decide between choosing late checkout, going to the conference, having to return to get my luggage, and then head to the airport, or taking my luggage with me, paying for bag check again, and then heading straight to the airport from there. But then I remembered this is the Atlanta airport, and I'm not taking any chances with ATL International. If they want me there 2 hours early, guess what? I'm going to be there 2 hours early. Early and ashy. So, with that goal in mind, I decided to recycle outfits. I did bring something cuter to wear, but I'm not dressing to be cute. I'm dressing for TSA. It's no surprise, but the last day of the conference did not disappoint. The whole event really didn't have any fluctuations as far as high points and low points. It also didn't start low and then ramp up. The whole thing was a level 10. Every day was just a 10. Saturday night was a total blur. The scale only goes up to 10, so whatever happens beyond 10 is not up to human ranking. So during Saturday's session, the announcement was made that registration was now open for next year. So I jumped on it. They announced tickets to the people in Overflow first to give us a chance at least to get in on the main session, since this year's conference sold out so incredibly quickly. I thought that I was in the Overflow because I heard about it at the last minute. Apparently, the entire conference sold out in less than 72 hours, so I didn't stand a chance in the first place. However, the announcement did come in the middle of a really good session with the C Rights. If you're not familiar with them, their marriage is their ministry. They were dropping such gems, and it got right to the place where they were talking about a critical point in their marriage, and then it cuts to commercial. The commercial was good news, but if there could have been one improvement, it would have been to have a different time for that announcement. Because by the time the information was finished, so was their session. I'm not going to lie, I was a little bummed and was desperately hoping that it was recorded or if the replay was available for purchase, but that I know of, it is not. Pastor Torre spoke the last day, and this may sound crazy, but for a second I was thinking, how is a man going to speak at a women's conference? Totally forgetting that this is Sarah Jakes Roberts. Her father is the originator of a man speaking at a women's conference and hosting one. Take several seats because men can minister to women the same as women can preach to men. God doesn't make vessels he doesn't intend on using. And if you limit how he uses them, you'll miss out on what he wants to get to you through them. So to think some type of way about that is really putting limitations on God. And to be stuck in that mindset comes at the expense of yourself.
That's why it says you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. The truth does not set free. The knowledge of the truth sets free. Are we together?
Okay, rant over. He ended the session with a time of communion, and he all had us hold the little wafer that comes with the juice, but then he told us to visualize the thing that was holding us back. And then he said to snap it, and it symbolized a breaking of the bondage that was holding us back.
Bondage breaking, addiction leaving.
I thought that was really unique. I'll have to borrow it at some time. Pastor Sarah closed out the conference and left us with a very challenging challenge. It was to rest. Not to go home all fired up and think you have to manually rearrange your life or take things into your own hands that you've already turned over to God. She challenged us to take the cape off, not be Jesus Jr., and to enter into a space of trust that's proven by rest.
But I want you to practice rest so that you don't end up burnt out.
So, with that, I headed home, taking it all in, reflecting, and resting. Leaving the conference felt different than other conferences that I've attended. It was almost like what I hear people describe who've attended an HBCU. They say that attending an HBCU is like having extended family and a level of close-knit community and support that's unmatched. I hear it said that those that have attended can often have a challenging time when they leave it because they had been in an environment that the outside world knows nothing about and has yet to catch up to. Even at the airport, seeing some of the members of the worship team going through TSA or women wearing merch and you knew that they were also at the conference, it was like seeing your relatives in the parking lot after you're packing up from a family reunion. I'm grateful I was able to attend, and I'm definitely looking forward to next year, God willing. Because I didn't want to miss out, I got tickets for next year as soon as it was available. But many people in the Overflow were intentionally hesitating to get theirs because they want to be in the Overflow section again. And you know what? I do not blame them. If they would have had seats available for Overflow at the same time that they had the regular seats, I would have bought the Overflow section again in a heartbeat, even if it was the same price as a regular ticket. Since the conference ended on a Saturday and early enough to allow for travel time, I was able to make it back home and hear Pastor Handsome in person. It was a great experience, and if you're on the fence about going for 2026, please do yourself a favor and get yourself a spot. Also, do the ladies in the Overflow section a favor and buy your ticket so they can get their Overflow seat back. Okay, so that was the trip. These were the fits. I would have to say the best thing that I had would be the soul food at the conference. Although I did very much enjoy what I had of my oyster po' boy, I just can't remember where I got it from. My least favorite thing would be that meatless bowl that I ordered. Not saying that it's bad, but the flavor was absent and the texture was weird. Now for the honorable mention. Something that I really liked and would have gotten is this nude toned glassware. I don't know what it's actually called, but the colors look like skin tones to me. And this one looks like mine. So it's something that I would have gotten, but did not want to travel with glass. So I put it on my maybe later list. One thing that I did get and don't regret is this jacket. There were only a few of these, and it was such a hot commodity that I couldn't even try it on because if other people saw it, I would get inundated by requests. Where did you get that? I didn't want them to feel bad because there weren't any more. They were going to check for some, and I heard that a few came from the back. So shout out to my twinsies out there. Post your pics if you're wearing your jacket. So that's it for now. Subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time. You can follow or support on Patreon at When Not Napping for behind-the-scenes stories, and check out my other channel, Highly Opinionated, to hear my unscripted food opinions and unedited thoughts on all things food. Until next time, good night.